So if you use Spotify, you might have noticed that some of your podcasts weren't downloading late last month. On May 30th, Megaphone, a platform that Spotify uses, experienced service disruptions due to an expired SSL certificate. Why is this important and how does it affect you? That's what I'm going to be answering on today's episode of the BB&J podcast. I'm your host, John Lind. Let's get right into it. Back in 2020, Spotify acquired Megaphone as a advertising and a podcast publishing platform. The platform, like any website or server, has an SSL certificate, which stands for Secure Sockets Layer. That just happened to expire May 30th. And as I mentioned, an expired certificate of all things led to major service disruptions across platforms for millions of people. You know, it was rectified by the following day, but it kind of begs the question, you know, if this can happen to such a large platform, can it happen to you? And the answer is absolutely yes. Now, unless you have a major platform like Spotify or Facebook, you probably won't be seeing widespread service disruptions. But, you know, regardless, if you have people who are going to your website, you know, you want to be continually offering them service. And if your site's down, that potentially means clients who won't be signing with you. It means, you know, if you're real estate, it means people who can't search their homes on your site. It means people who can't contact you. You know, anytime you're trying to drive traffic to your site, that doesn't work if your site doesn't work. So let me get a little bit more into what SSL is, what the certification is, and how you get it. SSL stands for Secure Sockets Layer, as I mentioned, and socket describes the connection that you have between the server that hosts the website and the end user. They're trying to establish that connection so they can start sending and receiving data, right? That is the modern state of the web. And your clients, your users are sending data through that server, whether it's like a contact us information, whether they're trying to search for a specific home, you know, or trying to buy a product. That's a two-way street, right? And obviously, in terms of what your site's trying to send, page information, you know, product information, these basic things that are the foundation of your website. Having a secure connection for that is incredibly important, right? Because if you aren't having a secure encrypted connection, then that data transfer is at risk of being grabbed by people who you probably don't want to have it. And that's the most important thing that the Secure Sockets Layer, or the SSL, does. It encrypts data, or allows data that is sent between the website and the user to be encrypted. Now let's talk about the certificate, because obviously, you know, it wasn't necessarily the Secure Sockets Layer itself just disappeared overnight. It's that the certificate expired. So the key thing that the certification or the certificate does, apart from telling you, you know, that the stuff is encrypted and the Secure Sockets Layer is there, it's doing its thing, it's keeping users and websites safe. But that acts as a certificate of authenticity, which verifies that the website basically is who it says it is, you know? So if you have a website for your company, that SSL certificate verifies that that website is the website for your company, you know? It's the S of HTTPS, right? So that the reason that you see that so often in modern websites of that S little thing is because it stands for secure, right? HTTP secure. And oftentimes, if people visit websites without an SSL certificate, without, you know, that secure thing, it'll say explicitly tell them not secure. I've seen this on desktop. I've seen this on mobile. I've seen this on, you know, tablet. It is incredibly important to have and maintain your SSL certificate. So if you're thinking, oh my gosh, John, it just says HTTP. There is no S. There is no SSL certificate. Or you're thinking like, okay, that's important, but how do I make sure that mine is up to date? Here's what I can tell you. It will be through the site host. If you have, for example, GoDaddy, they will give you information and they will make it as easy for you as possible, given especially how many users there are who use GoDaddy who don't necessarily, have all this advanced information about web development. But yeah, they will make it easy for you to be able to refresh it, renew it, and they'll walk you through the whole process. Now, if you have a web designer or especially a web developer, your job is even easier because they'll take care of it for you, right? As a business owner, it's important to be aware of these things and understand the needs of all the aspects of your business. But you don't necessarily need to be the one doing all of it, right? It's not necessarily good use of your time. So as long as you have somebody on your team that you can trust to make sure that that certificate's done, and then also know for yourself, this is important, when that certificate's going to expire, what happens when it expires, what do we need to do, then you will be in a very secure place where you don't have to worry about something that affected a multi-million listener platform, But other than that, that's all I have for you this week. So, I'd like to thank you so much for listening and or watching. We've been doing this for a few years now, and I've really enjoyed the growth and the progress that we and I hope you all have made. But yeah, other than that, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.